Good morning. You're now listening to Kingston Community Radio, airing on FM 92.5 and AM 920, WGHQ, Kingston, New York. This programming is brought to you by our listeners and corporate underwriters who are interested in presenting local community radio. The opinions expressed on this program do not represent those of Hamel Broadcasting or Kingston Community Radio. Listeners are encouraged to send in $10 per month to help bring this program to you. Mail your contributions to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402. For more information or to donate online, visit our website at mykcr.org. Good morning for this terrific Tuesday, and we're starting out the day with about a temperature of 32 degrees on this February 8th. We welcome you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be right back after these messages.
Your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can. But it's just as important to take time for yourself. AARP can help. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Are you a renter or homeowner having trouble paying past due electric and gas bills? The Regular Arrears Supplement Program may help. If you're eligible for the program, you could receive up to $10,000 in aid. If you're behind in rent payments, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program may also help. Get the relief you need to help pay off those bills. Visit the Assistance Program section of centralhudson.com for eligibility and application requirements.
Hi, this is Diane Eastwick from Athens, New York, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And thank you for being with us today and supporting Kingston Community Radio. You are with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. 845-331-9255 is our call-in number. 331-9255. We've got lines open. Sunshine and clouds mixed today with a high up to 40. So watch out for that ice falling. There will be ice falling off of everything. Some of it will definitely be melting today. Tuesday night tonight, some clouds this evening, giving way to mainly clear skies overnight. And we get another reprieve on Wednesday. It's going to be generally sunny and a high of 45 on Wednesday. And that will melt the rest of the ice off of the trees and things, which is what we've needed. I mean, it's been very cold, so the ice is remaining on all these trees and weighing them down. Wednesday night, partly cloudy skies during the evening, giving way to cloudy skies overnight with a low of 28. And Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. A few flurries or snow showers possible. With a high of 48, again, a little bit of warmth this weekend. Clear skies on Thursday night with a low of 26. And it looks like our hosts are very well settled in and ready to go. How you doing, Nina, Postapak, and Cameron Rylance? How are you doing?
Terrific Tuesday. A lot more terrific than it was 3 days ago, right?
Oh, my
For a lot of
goodness,
people?
Cameron. Boy, we're very lucky.
We were just lamenting, if you will, about our weekend experiences. So.
Yes, absolutely. Really, for all the people out there that were without electric and power for 2-3 days.
Or intermittently,
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yes, that's true, Dan.
Which you think, oh, my God, okay, we got our power back. And then it goes down
again.
Because of a pole or something.
Well, yeah, I heard on good authority.
Yeah, right.
My son, 6 months from now, he would have been making bank.
That's right.
If this happened, but it'd be a summer storm. But anyhow, well, they have to shut off power sometimes to restore power. If there's a wire down, they got to.
Absolutely. I mean, there was exactly in our neighborhood, there was a pole that was cracked, broken, so they had to replace the pole.
Yeah.
So that took 4 hours, and
Yeah,
so we
and if
were
the-
out
and if
for
the juice
4
is
hours.
flowing-
Exactly.
Right, they
Yeah,
have
the
to
juice is
disconnect.
flowing.
They gotta cut it, yeah.
Cut it off to fix the
Right.
pole.
South Wall Street is closed.
Still?
Yeah, and that was just yesterday, I think. South Wall Street. So you can't
Probably doing precautionary work or something.
can't do that shortcut.
But, and talking to Ben, who was talking to his brother, his uncle, lineman stuff. Uncle Shane's out there working right now, I'm sure. But like right now, they're just putting Band-Aids on, like just to get the power up. It's going to be a couple months of overtime and extra shifts and
To really
everything
shore it up, huh?
to
Yeah.
permanently fix everything.
Right.
Broken cross arms and cracked stuff and loose stuff and whatever. So
Sure. I mean, you just drive down, I know even in our neighborhood alone, drive down Hinsdale Street or Manor Avenue, it's going to take a while even for the trees that the branches,
Broken yeah,
yes.
still on lines.
A lot of the trees that fell onto the road obviously been cut and piled and so
Yeah.
forth, but there's still a lot that needs to be done with trees that need to be trimmed and
Yeah.
branches that are hanging and so forth. Really, something that we've never seen. I mean, I've never seen.
It's
And-
epic and legendary. I don't
Yes.
think I've never seen it before in my life this much,
Right.
and I don't think we ever will again.
Don't
Oh,
want
hopefully.
but pray to
Cross our
God we don't,
fingers.
right? I know. I know.
This was, but compared
It's
to
epic.
compared to like a tornado or a flood, that devastates cities in the world.
Right. When we had that
Uh,
hurricane, I thought that was horrible, right?
I
Remember
mean,
that hurricane?
Imagine
Back-
like Louisiana, the floods. Imagine having no power for 2 weeks
Right. I
or
know.
more.
Yeah, this is it's epic
Crazy.
for us, but
Yeah.
it sure pales
Mother
compared to
Nature
some of the.
sure did. Let
number,
us know
right?
who's boss.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
knows who's
Humanity
boss.
gets cocky sometimes.
Yeah.
And a shout out to all the volunteers, all, like you said, the linemen, all the people that worked so hard this weekend.
Giant
DPW
shout
guys
out.
and
Giant
DPW,
shout out.
yes.
Because they were working all night long.
Yeah,
they were working all night long.
warming
from Central Hudson.
centers, the
and
towns,
the warming
the
centers. Yes,
supervisors, our
right
county executive.
at the
Weeks to
community
come.
centers.
Yeah.
It's like the DPW. How much sticks are going to have? Their regular routes during the week. How much?
Yeah, right, to clean up and
I mean, they're going to be busy for
A lot of
month.
firewood.
Yeah.
a lot of firewood, yes.
I mean it. We had a 120-foot tree fall right into the side yard of
Wow.
our home.
Lucky it wasn't across the roof.
Absolutely. Well, this one was kind of destined. If it was going to fall, it was going to fall right into the side yard. And
It did.
weird.
Well,
Damn
good.
if it
what
didn't.
kind of tree is it? Was it?
I have to.
Is it? Well, it's still a tree.
I have to check it out. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
It's not a pine.
It's all no. It wasn't a
Deciduous.
pine. No,
That's
pines seem to survive
yeah,
much
more.
better.
Yeah, they do.
They seem to be
Bent
much more
over.
resilient when
Yeah,
it
'cause
comes
Yes.
it's
to
crappy wood.
Yeah.
Well, not crappy.
the
it's
hardwood.
valuable.
No, the
Yeah.
hardwood. It seems to be the kind that breaks and cracks. I was talking to an arborist and said that a lot of times a lot of the earthworms are not indigenous, and that loosens the soil for these houses that have forests above the properties, and they do tend to be looser.
Yeah, those big giant earthworms, those are invasive.
And
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah,
yes,
our normal
mhm.
ones are the little skinny little ones. You used to
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
when you're a kid, you used
Yeah.
to go on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
in the rain.
yeah.
Those big ones are all invasive from fishing and plants. Shrubbery.
Sure.
You buy a shrub that's imported somewhere, and
Right.
That they got
Yeah.
in here.
it's
They're
it's
in there,
funny.
yeah, and it does loosen the soil for our indigenous trees.
Yeah, and what's weird, in areas where like people fish and like they've discarded lots of them, where they're like everywhere, like our ecosystem is like a closed loop. When the leaves fall, they decompose. Our natural earthworms eat them. There's like there's
Right.
enough. But in areas where these worms are like everywhere, they eat they can starve out other organisms. They eat all the leaf litter.
Oh.
It can affect the forest ecology because they're eating more than what's evolved naturally. It's
Isn't that interesting?
it
Yeah.
is. It's like, what? Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They
so.
clean up too much of the leaves on the forest or eat too much. It's weird.
Yeah,
that
so
is
it does.
strange.
It does
Yeah,
account for some of the tree falls that we do get. Otherwise, those trees would stay sturdy and strong.
The roots are undermined, yeah.
Yeah, a little undermined.
Well,
Yeah.
interesting.
So I've
Yeah.
heard from an
Worms.
arborist. You know.
You know?
Yeah. So I have an announcement, and I probably will make this announcement every half hour because it's an important one. Our DMV was down yesterday. We were closed on Friday, right? State of emergency. They closed all the county buildings on Friday. And because of the storm and the surge of power, I suppose our router went and got fried. So we were not able to do any DMV transactions yesterday. We cannot communicate to Albany. So we were on the phone all day. We had a router overnighted to us that hopefully we will get this morning. And we'll have a tech com, and our IT will work with them to get us up and running. We're hoping this afternoon. If not, definitely tomorrow. But so those of you that have an appointment or had an appointment Friday, Monday, or this morning, we will accommodate you throughout the week as far as doing your motor vehicle processing. Those of you that have appointments for this afternoon, please go on our Facebook page and our website. We've been updating it in real time as things happen. So right now we are canceled through noontime. We're hoping that we'll be back up by 12, but if not, please check our website, go to Ulster County Clerk. You can just Google it, it'll come right up, or our Facebook page, Nina Postprack, Ulster County Clerk, and it'll give you an update as to when we'll be open and so forth. If you have any questions in regard to coming in where you had a previous appointment and it was canceled, you can call 340-3700 or 340-3040. And of course, you know, you can always reach out to anyone in the office, or you could come in and we'll make an appointment for you. So, yeah, that's horrible.
Did that router, was that only DMV's router, or was it like the whole county?
DMV's router.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we're in a closed system with DMV, so the rest of the county was
Oh.
up and running.
So
But
you
we,
probably have to be in contact with the state DMV, right? So
Right.
the system's part of a network or whatever?
yeah, exactly. So we actually on
Of
our
my-
DMV computers, like all our county employees cannot even have their emails, their county emails on their computers because it is a closed system and for security purposes.
Was it something exciting? Did it actually like blow up, and
No.
catch on fire, or it just didn't
Yeah,
work?
just didn't work.
Well, that's boring.
Yeah, just
At least
didn't
it caught
work.
on fire, it'd be like something.
Oh God!
Like, whoa!
I don't need any more excitement.
You never know.
You never know. So yeah, unfortunately, we just came in on yesterday morning, and it says domain not available.
Oops.
And then and then you, of course, you have to troubleshoot. So it takes a few hours to determine why the domain is not available. And so our IT department is fantastic, but again, because it is a DMV system, we also have to work with the DMV IT and network. So and they're doing it remotely, trying to figure out what was wrong. So it took a couple hours before we could determine what the problem was. And then once you do
And
that,
you still gotta look at the wires. Like a mouse could have chewed a wire somewhere.
oh
So,
yeah, it could be a million things.
walls, outside, looking at the connections, wires in the building or whatever.
Originally, they thought it was Spectrum, because the county doesn't use Spectrum for its Wi-Fi. So they had thought it was Spectrum because we do use it for DMV, but it ended up not being Spectrum. So yeah, it's a
Yeah,
process
I'm
of
sure there's
elimination
more
to it.
variables than you can even think of how it could be messed up. You got to start eliminating them, till you find your problem.
Yeah. So all the other DMVs are open throughout the state. So if you do have something that you absolutely need to do, you can always go to Poughkeepsie, or not that we advocate that, but you can, Greene County up to Hudson and Columbia County. And we should be up and running by this afternoon, tomorrow at the latest. One other thing, too. CDL drivers have all new federal requirements that they must do. So as of yesterday, if you get a CDL permit, you had to meet all these new testing requirements that the federal government put in place and New York State adopted. The problem being is that on Friday, if you had your CDL permit as of Friday, 5 o'clock, you were not required to take all this additional testing. So unfortunately, on Friday, the building was closed and people were unable to take, who had CDL tests, were unable to take those permit tests. Unfortunately, I did reach out to the state to see if they would give us an extension here in Ulster County because of the emergency closing of the building. And unfortunately, since it's a federal regulation, and since the federal regulation went into effect yesterday, February 7th, there was no extension. So, and I was really very well aware of that when the building was closed on Friday. But unfortunately, the safety and welfare of the employees, the customers, and everyone, and the whole county, we couldn't make any exceptions. And at that point, our computers weren't working that morning when they went in. So it's been a matter of, with the storm,
Now,
a lot of.
my son just got a CDL permit a couple weeks ago. Is he going to have to take them?
Well, so what he needs to do is get his CDL license before that permit expires. If he doesn't get his CDL license before that permit expires, he will have to.
How long is the window?
I think it's a 6-month permit.
6-month window? Okay.
You get,
I
6
think that's
months.
part of his training is licensing, so.
Yeah.
that should be done.
So he should get that done
Right.
before that CDL. Have him check when the permit expires.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's our understanding that you can renew your permit, obviously, but it's our understanding that if you renew it, that does not grandfather you in
You
then.
got to do the additional.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a little extra motivation for anybody out there.
Yes, to get their
Now,
CDL.
that's lamenting the closing of Tony's Pizza.
Yes,
Sad.
very sad. That's
but
iconic restaurant, pizza
Yep.
place here in Kingston.
I don't know what the future owners of the building are going to do, but 'cause they're
Yeah,
selling the
don't.
building. That's
Right,
that's why.
yes,
And
yeah,
it's
yes.
a perfect opportunity for them to bow out. Trust me. After 10 years in the restaurant business, 10 years is like it.
Yeah, right,
It's a tough gig.
yes.
But he's in commercial driver training school.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's great.
Superb.
Yes.
Absolutely. With you listen to the radio or the news and your advertising and
They need
trucking
drivers,
shortage
yeah,
and,
CDL drivers,
no
commercial
end in
drivers.
sight. The pipeline is open for advancement. So
Yes,
So CDL is commercial driver's license.
Yes.
Is that what CDL stands for?
yes,
Okay.
commercial driver's license, yes. CDL.
So good for him.
Yeah,
Smart move.
absolutely, absolutely. So I don't know if you saw the Freeman on Friday, but there was an article about the Sojourner Truth exhibit.
Yeah,
up
nice
in
picture.
Surrogate's Court.
Oh.
So please, anybody who's interested, reach out or email Surrogate's Court and set up an appointment to go see it on Fridays throughout the month of February. It's Black History Month, and that is one of the ways that we kicked off the celebrations is by the opening of the gallery. Judge McGinty, Sarah McGinty, did an amazing job on the exhibit. So, please take the opportunity to go up and see it. We're going up to the State Archives on Thursday. They've uncovered some other court documents in regard to the Sojourner Truth trial. So we're really
From,
excited. Yes.
170 years ago or whatever?
Yeah, that no one knew existed, and a historian was doing
Wow.
some research. So we're excited. Paul O'Neill, myself, Sarah McGinty, Taylor Brooke. We're going up on Thursday. Judge Conley. Yeah, so it should be exciting.
How was that found? How was that found?
A historian was actually digging through 3,000 court documents up in the state archives and knew that Sojourner Truth's original name was Isabella Van Wagenen, and he found the court documents.
Good
just
for
like
them.
hours and hours, days and days of research.
And way good. That might uncover even more tourism for us.
Yes, and more.
It'll be really, really, really very beneficial for our area to,
Yes, and the
to
question
have
is,
that
too-
available now. That's amazing.
Yeah, and
That's a
why
coup.
those court documents aren't in our archives and how they end up in the New York State archives. So that's what we're really curious to see when we go up there. Where did it take place? What happened? Why aren't they in Ulster County in our records? So it'll be very interesting. We're really looking forward to it. Another piece of the
You think
puzzle.
you'll get them?
I don't know if the state archives will give
Bump
them.
it up?
Yeah, but they'll give us.
I should
They
think.
already.
I mean,
well,
we
they
got
will give us
more-
digital reproductions. They already said that.
Okay.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
we can get
Yeah,
digital
sure,
reproductions
sure.
of all the
But-
documents.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That'll be pure enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
At
guess.
least we'll have. Yeah.
Now, how available is the courtroom? Like,
You have to make an appointment.
but like, is there court every day? Like, is it what type of windows would be available to view it? Do you have any idea?
Just Fridays.
Just Fridays.
Just
Okay.
Fridays. She's just because of the
court
court
Friday.
schedules and so forth. And there's no court on Fridays.
Okay.
So and the courtroom, the surrogate's courtroom, is in the county office building, and it's a smaller
Oh,
courtroom. It's not the courthouse.
Oh.
No, it's on the third floor of the county building.
Oh, Okay.
And if you go into the lobby of the county building, we've done, you know those pull-up banners?
Yeah.
We've done one of those pull-up banners in the lobby that basically depicts like 3 different panels from the exhibit, and then it has all the contact information on the bottom, who to email, who to contact.
That makes it a little easier.
But the courtroom's small, so with this COVID and social distancing, probably 8 people at the most can be in that courtroom at any given time. So it's an amazing exhibit. So I hope people take advantage of it. The judge did say since the article came out in the Freeman, she has received quite a few emails for making appointments. So we're really happy and pleased about that. And I have to say, our county executive did a great job on February 1st of kicking off Black History Month. We did it in front of the county office building. He lit up the county office building after the ceremony. It was really nice. Carl Brown, who is a guest on our show, Cameron was
here
there.
today. Yeah,
He
he's here
spoke. He did an amazing job, as Carl always does, and among many other people
Was
that
he
spoke.
there representing Harambe? Or?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah. So it was Evelyn Clark. There was quite a few people, Tyrone, that spoke, and they an amazing job, and a lot going on for Black History Month. And if you go on the City of Kingston website, they have quite a list of activities, and they've included the County of Ulster's activities, and vice versa. Go on our county website, and you can see both the City of Kingston and County of Ulster activities going on throughout the county.
And
So-
People's Place as well. People's Place has a series for Black History Month as well.
Yes.
So if you go on the site, People's Place site.
Yep.
Yeah, readings
Yes.
and stuff and lunch. And yeah, that's.
Yeah, which is great.
Talking about that.
Yeah, which is wonderful. Speaking of People's Place and Christine, and I haven't even had the opportunity yesterday with the storm and everything to reach out to her, but a while ago we had talked about the Daily Freeman records because the Freeman moved from the building over on Hurley Avenue, so we were able to work with the administration in the Daily Freeman management, and we have those records now and all those pictures and articles, and we're cataloging them. So Christine reached out to us. I did not even think of this, and we have quite a bit of documentation on from the Daily Freeman on People's Place, and she's doing the history. And so we've uncovered some articles and pictures of People's Place back in the early 70s. So very exciting, and again, another way to tell the story. Yeah, so we're pleased that we're able to get those records, save those records, and now we're cataloging them, and Christine will be able to use them for her celebration at People's Place.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because the 70s, she said that's when they were a little murky.
Yes, right.
Not many details because people were still, it was forming and fluid and whatever. So that's cool. Hopefully it'll be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So
You were just talking about the county office building. The tree broke in the front yard.
yes.
Sad. That's a pretty little tree.
I know.
One opposite the flagpole there.
Yes.
I was walking into my dog the other day
yeah.
and it was on the ground.
So many of those beautiful trees, right? Throughout.
Oh, and the picnic table and Old
Oh,
Dutch.
yes,
I was like, whoa,
that-
just
yeah.
missed a statue of.
Oh, Clinton?
No, it's the Lady Liberty or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one that had a mask, that they put a mask on.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, the tree that fell in. We had a picnic table in our side yard, and it is
Scorched?
smithereens.
Yeah,
now.
more firewood.
But luckily, the tree is gone now. We've cut it up and everything yesterday.
Oh, you had somebody come in already? Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. The team was in.
Oh, that's cool. Good, good.
The tree services are inundated with work right now. Oh my gosh,
Busy
they're
for a
just
while,
nonstop. Yeah, they are going to be busy for quite a while. Absolutely.
The timing, it's, soft ground like this, it's going to, getting the trucks, it'd be ideally if it froze again and the ground was hard because right now if that truck backs into your yard, it's going to make a mess of your lawn.
Yes,
This
absolutely.
thaw, freeze, next couple of days, it's going to be ugly.
So when I was speaking before about DMV, Cameron showed me this great picture. Yeah.
His mother forwarded that to me.
Of his son up on, is it a bucket truck?
No, it's on a cross arm. It's on
a-
climbing up
oh,
the telephone
yeah,
pole,
look
climbing
it.
out on the cross arm. That was where the wires would go. If there's like multiple wires.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, no fear. Giving us
No
giving
fear.
the surfer sign there. You know, hook 'em horns.
I'm good,
Well,
Mom.
if you're a surfer, it's like hang loose.
Yeah,
Or if
right,
you're
right.
Texas A&M, it's hook 'em horns, right?
Oh, yeah, it can mean different things.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So we have a full show today.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I know Carl Brown and the officers. Oh, Dan Whalen.
Dan Whalen.
So speaking of Dan Whalen, Boys and Girls Club, we'll talk about it when he gets there. We're starting. We had a fantastic drive-through chicken dinner yesterday.
Oh, it went well.
Yes.
Well, it's, with people without power, people that they probably allow people to come in.
Winner.
I thought there'd be more,
Yeah.
but we did 50 dinners. Well, I only had 51. I bought that's American Top MMA gym in Florida. American Top Team is like the biggest one. The Elks dinner. So chicken leg quarters. I was going to brine them, bake them, herb.
Right.
Chicken was delicious. Woke up 6 o'clock in the morning yesterday to put it in the brine and cooked it in the afternoon. So we went to Restaurant Depot and the kind leg quarters. I knew, I figured there's probably about a pound each,
Right.
40-pound box. There's probably 40 of them. So I'm like, boy, 40 is good, not enough. 80 is a lot,
too
but
much.
chicken's it's 40 cents a pound when you buy it like that.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, it was cheap,
Yeah.
So I only get 2 boxes, thank God. So I get, brought them. They're not sealed, the cases. So I get home and put them like under my back porch because it's not going to freeze and couldn't put them in the fridge, whatever. So next morning, make the brine, I open them up. These things are like freaking pterodactyl size. There were like 2 pounds each. There was like 20 in one case. Like huge, like.
So what did you do?
Panicked a little bit.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there was some more in the other one. We went 51. 84 pounds of chicken had 51 leg quarters. Thank God we didn't sell more than 51.
So everybody had a nice size piece of chicken.
And it came out really good. The brine was. Really
So you just paid it forward. You just gave it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And I made this rice right from scratch, like brown the orzo and butter to make rice pilaf. It was like the best rice pilaf ever. It was
my
so
gosh.
fluffy. Because when you make things, you bake it. It's weird to
Right.
bake. Baked rice is the best. But it came out like I was shocked. I surprised myself.
You should go into catering.
Yeah, that's too much fun. That takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, when you do it. Yeah.
Well, I do catering at the Elks Lodge, catering through the Elks Lodge, I suppose.
Right,
But
right.
the next one is going to be, first March, is going to be Shepherd's Pie,
Oh,
which was a smash hit last year.
great.
So,
And you make that, you don't make it with lamb, if I remember
correct.
correctly.
Well, actually, technically, we're making cottage pie.
Okay.
Shepherd's pie is with lamb, cottage pie was with beef. But if you say people are like, what the hell
What's
is
cottage pie? Yeah. Yeah.
So
Shepherd's
that's
pie.
481-0752 for reservations.
$10 a dinner?
$10, can't beat it. Yesterday's dinner, when you open that thing, and you got 2 chocolate chip cookies. Dessert came with it. David's, because I forgot to ask if anyone wanted to volunteer to make dessert. So I bought a case of the frozen dough.
Oh, they're so good. So good.
Yeah, so, anybody opened that tin last night for $10 and saw that meal, they were like, oh!
So they had the chicken, the rice pilaf, and
Beans and
cookies.
2 David's chocolate chip cookies. $10.
got a good-
Couldn't beat it, yeah.
Good deal there. And I'm sure it was delicious.
It was, yeah. I was like surprised. The rice pilaf was so good. Fluffy. It was like, oh my God.
Do you
I was, like,
get
shocked.
a meal out of the whole thing, I hope?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
You have to sell them all. Last night
Little
I
samples,
did brought
right?
a piece of chicken home.
Yeah, that's good. At least you get something.
Yeah. But
Which is good.
so anyway, I wanted to be proud to announce is through Bill Pine. I don't know if any of our listeners out there know Bill Pine. He's been a longtime elk. He and I wrote 3 different grants to the Elks National Foundation, and we awarded all 3 of them $8,000
Beautiful.
in grant money, which we'll be distributing to our community. I know Angel Food East and St. James Food Pantry each receiving $1,000. We got $1,500 to get a school bus and a party for 40 people for the Mentor Me program
Great.
at Wooden Wheels. $500 for the Saturday meal program at the Boys and Girls Club. We're going to be doing one a month for the next umpteen months.
Great.
There's something else I'm missing.
That's
Something else I'm missing.
The
But
vets?
yeah, no, it's great. It's, $8,000 that we're going to give out.
that's
in our
great. How about the
community.
veterans? Did you see
Oh
the
yeah,
veterans?
and $3,500. Oh damn, I got to call Hannaford today, the corporate. $3,500 for $50 food coupon, food.
Oh, excellent. Yes,
Gift cards
yes,
at
yes.
Hannaford.
As you had mentioned last week. Yes,
When
right.
asked how we could do this quick thing, Mark was like instantly,
Gift cards.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's
the
appalling.
immediately to relieve distress. So
Great.
yeah, it's awesome.
Fantastic.
So
That's wonderful.
That's forthcoming. Very proud of that.
Yeah.
And we got to go to break. So
Okay.
we'll be
Dan,
back.
take it away.
Okay, and thank you, Nina Postapak and Cameron Rylance, for bringing us through this first quarter of our terrific Tuesdays. And you're listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. And it's 32 degrees right now here in Uptown Kingston on this Tuesday, February 8th. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Do you know who that is? Who's that? It could be a clever thief impersonating Central Hudson, asking for your personal or account information, or an immediate bill payment. Beware of scam artists that can target you by telephone, email, or in person. Don't provide personal information to callers or open email attachments. Ask to see ID. If you're ever uncertain about an inquiry, contact us. Don't fall victim to a sinister scheme.
Hi, my name's Maggie. I'm from Copiague, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
You're here with us at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. We're starting the day out at about 32 degrees right now, and it's Tuesday, February 8th. And we're going to have some sunshine and clouds mixed today. A little bit of a fog here and there, so careful wherever you're traveling right now. Tuesday, today, it's going to be a high of 40 degrees. Tonight, it's going to go down to about 18 degrees with some clouds. And Wednesday, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds. That's a 45-degree high for Wednesday. And Wednesday night, 28-degree low, partly cloudy skies during the evening. More cloudy during the night, and mostly cloudy on Thursday. With a high of 48, though, and then partly cloudy in the afternoon. A few flurries or snow showers are possible intermittently. And Thursday night, clear skies with a low of 26. And this upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston. And let's get to the on-air studio again with Nina, Cameron, and Dan Whalen.
All right, we are back.
We are.
And I believe Dan Whalen's with us on the phone. You there, Dan?
Yeah, that's correct. Can you hear me, Cam?
We can hear loud and clear.
Dan. Good morning, Dan.
Oh, good. Hey, just so you guys know, you guys are a little faint on my end for some reason.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Overall, Dan was too, so just heads up.
Okay, well, listen carefully. How are you? How did the club make out this past weekend with all this crazy weather?
It was the club was fine. I mean, we lost power a little bit, but I mean, aside from that, we were still open on Saturday.
Great.
We had about 18, 20 kids come through, hang out, eat. So I mean, we really kind of functioned as normal.
That's great, because I'm sure I know a lot of kids in the neighborhood without power for a long time.
Yes.
Luckily, on Fair Street only lost it for a little while, but there's some. Yeah, did you have?
Were you open on Friday, Dan?
No, we were not open on Friday. That's right. Yeah. Friday we did have to close.
Okay. Yeah. It was bad on Friday, I have to say. But the
Yeah,
Saturday
crazy.
program's going well. So the Saturday program's new. This is like maybe your 4th week. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's our 5th. Yep.
5th week. Yeah. So how is it going on Saturdays for the kids?
It's great. I mean, it's really something we've been looking forward to doing for a long time. It's taken a long time to kind of pull it together. Just all the resources, but we have a live group of kids, ton of energy. They're active. They're regular members. They love having it's just directed at teens and the high school kids, and they're very very happy to have their own space, which they typically don't have. So we get a lot of different people that come in. Some kids stay for a little bit, some kids stay the whole time. But now we're starting to work toward. We're starting to plan some trips, trying to plan some different opportunities to get the kids out in the community a little bit more. And then of course they get a great meal. We've had our month of January was sponsored by Rondout Savings Bank, the meals for the kids, and it was, I mean, all the meals are phenomenal. We were, of course, our local restaurants helped us to provide these and to make this possible. We got food from Subway in Kingston, Santa Fe, Uptown, Little Italy. We also got Mirabella's in Saugerties, and I'm missing one.
Well, the
These are
Elks
delicious.
Lodges are going to
These
be
are
helping you
delicious,
out
of course.
moving forward.
They're just great different types of food. I mean, the kids all had a good time, and then a lot of them. We have a little Sunday, basketball with some little kids that we do, and a lot of them, same kids, come and help out and mentor in that.
Yeah, that's great. Honestly, I was talking to. I was at the Elks Lodge last night, Dan, and talking to some people, and we're excited about coming in there once a month to help with that program.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's been great to see everyone come in, and a lot of people are looking to help out. Cam, yourself and the Elks Lodge is going to be helping with. What did we say? The second Saturday, correct?
Yeah, second Saturday, other than March, because I'm going to Italy.
Other than March,
the second Saturday of the month, the Elks Lodge is going to be going in and providing lunch. So we're excited about that.
Dan's not going to be around at the beginning of March either, are you, Dan?
No. I have an event scheduled early.
Yeah, Dan's getting married.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
So congratulations. We're really happy for
Busy,
Dan.
thank you. Busy month, Nina, huh?
What's that?
It's a busy month, huh?
Absolutely.
A busy month, yes. And we have the auction. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, very busy month. Absolutely.
Dan, how the heck do you have time to get married?
I'm very fortunate that my fiance works in this field. She's a director. Brianne Ebel is director of sales at Diamond Mills. So I'm hoping that I just have to show up.
Are you getting married in Saugerties?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Nice. Excellent. Well, we hope for good weather.
Yeah. It's a weird time of the year. Either going to be sleigh riding or in shorts. I don't know.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's the latter. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So the auction coming up, it was a lot of prep work for that, obviously. What's going on with that? When is it? I know last year was unique. What's the format going to be?
We're looking to stay in the same format as last year. We will have an online auction available for everyone to participate. Anyone who wants to be involved, that'll be available. We'll also be having it in person, with all of our people who, of course, anyone who wants to be involved. But we're trying to stay in this hybrid model where more people could be involved, even though people aren't necessarily comfortable with coming out yet. And also, some people don't want to; they just want to support and not have the whole night out. So. We're going to be doing this on March 31st. The in-person will be at the Chateau. This is auction is our top event of the year. This is what really sets the tone for what we're going to be able to provide for our kids. And so, yes, there's a lot of prep and a big to-do. We're trying to pull it together. I think I emailed Nina at 10 o'clock last night or something like that. just trying to pull stuff together. But I mean, fortunate to say that we have a board that's so active, and a community that's so supportive. So the big thing right now is we're trying to rein items in. So if anyone has any interest in contributing to our auction, we could really use items, whether it's gift certificates from restaurants or stores or businesses or sponsorships or ads. This is really the hot zone for us trying to get this in.
Yes, and really it's our largest fundraiser of the year, and it's really a group effort by everyone. So anyone in the community, even if they want to take an ad, I mean, like Dan said, they want to donate an item or a service, please reach out to Dan or any board member if you're interested, because it really does make a difference on the success of the auction with all of our donations that we get. So, and it is our biggest fundraiser. So, and Dan will be away for part of the planning of that, so we need all the help we can get, that's for sure. And it's great that you can go online. So, a lot of people are not able to attend the auction, and everybody's lives are busy, but you can go online and you can, see all the silent auction items. They'll be up there earlier in the week, and it's fun. It's a fun way to give back to the club and raise some money and maybe get some items that you would really like to have. So
yeah, and it's the thing that's cool about the online too is like I said, a lot of us enjoy being at events and the whole thing that goes into it, but a lot of us don't. And even with the online portion, it could be it's really easy because you get text messages every time you get outbid. So it's really fun and a really great time. It'll be a couple days of it. It's really, really fun. It's interactive, but it also isn't time consuming because you're not dedicating your time to an event and to a space, but you're still involved and active as bids go on.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's cool. Very sophisticated how you get texted when you get outbid.
It's great. You get a little text on your phone.
It's like your phone just goes off. It's just like, dang it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, is there going to be a live auction at the event itself?
Correct.
There is. Who's going to be doing that? Do you know?
We will have our auctioneer, Joe Begans, and Stephen Kennedy, who did an outstanding job last year, knocked it out of the park, and I know I've talked to them a couple of times. They're just as fired up for this year.
That's cool. Great.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah, Joe's a funny guy, so that's going to be interesting.
Joe's great, and it's just good to have people that, as Cam, you came by last week, to talk about, the food program and such, and it's, people that are physically involved with the inner workings of the club that understand the impact. It just you can just feel the energy because they know how important it is.
Yeah, yep. And like I said, we are looking forward to it. Getting into the community, and COVID's been tough for a lot of organizations that are service-based. Kiwanis, I'm in Kiwanis and Elks Club, and our dinners and our capers, our things have all been disrupted the last 2 years, and it's just nice to, looking forward to it. So, as well as the mentoring thing,
and as you say that, Cam, it's good to see, people starting to come out and starting to get back after COVID, because on our end, one of the toughest things for us is as this takes a turn and we start to, emerge from the pandemic, on our end, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
This is now the time where the youth are getting back into things. You got to get them back into routines, talk about what's happened, where do we move from here, getting them back on track. We changed our mold for, switching on and off for 2 years, but this is really, we're just getting to the well of our mission, and it's going to be a long time to repair and to keep kids, back engaged.
And I think, the kids, school-age kids, youth, whatever, they've inordinately affected more by the pandemic than adults, psychologically, school. And to me, what's jazzing me on this thing is, the mentoring aspect, getting, interacting with kids. Their world has been shrunk a little bit. They're looking at masked teachers and their home, their family.
For a year, they didn't even have school.
Interactions with, other adults, community people. It's just, it's enriching. It's enriching. That's all I can say, and I'm looking forward to that, honestly, and 'cause it's important,
I mean, Cam, for on my end, I'm glad you said that and can see that. It's really, I could go on for 2 hours on this. you're right. I mean, kids have been they've lost what they know. And,
Yeah.
For us, in the neighborhoods that our clubs are located, in the clientele that we reach, especially with the way things have gone through the pandemic, they have been around a ton of negativity. And typically, with full days of school and club and the Y and all these community organizations open, they're strategically positive people around them, but they've been taken away from a percentage of time spent with positive and have been surrounded by so much negative that it was honestly disheartening for a long time. But I mean, like I said, we have our kids come. Our kids are back. I mean, everything's good. But it's going to take time to repair all that.
And a deliberate, concerted effort on the parts of adults and community leaders and organizations. You're going to have to step up for a while to sort of compensate or make up for lost time, if you will.
Yeah, and that's the greatest part about being for me in my position and where we are in this organization is that we do. I mean, I'll say it forever that this is the greatest community. I mean, we are a community that stands up for each other, that stands by each other, and I know it's going to continue to help our kids through this as they start to bounce back.
No, it's
yeah, absolutely.
It's a worthy effort, that's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. So, Dan, what else is going on at the club these days? What new programming or what are the kids up to?
Like I said, it's been busy. It's been good. The thing that's weird about COVID when it comes through is you get waves. There's days where you're extremely busy and then days where you're not. There's also the ever-changing 2-hour delays, cancellations, sports cancellations, switches. It's like it just seems like it's a never-ending revolving door. But I mean, our programs have been great. The kids are active in club. We've still been continuing with our singing club, our club harmony. Tons of cooking club. Cam actually stopped by as they were getting ready to make their empanadas this week. Got a little glimpse into that. But I mean, everything's busy. We're looking to begin new programs, and we have a couple bigger ones that we're excited for that should be developing over the next month or two, which I can't wait to be able to report.
Great. And does Youth of the Year, isn't that usually at the end of March?
Yeah. Forgot. Yeah, you can throw Youth of the Year in there on March 23rd. It's a busy March.
Yeah.
Something else to do.
So our Youth of the Year event it's just an outstanding event. It's for ages 14 and up. So our high school kids, they prepare essays and speeches. They do an interview with a panel of judges, and it's basically about teaching kids how to tell their story and how to use their voice. We talk to the kids a lot about understand you're young, but not only do you need to be able to use your voice and tell your story because you should be proud of all you've achieved, but also we have these younger kids coming up under you, and it's important that you're able to tell them what you did and how to do it so that we can keep the ball rolling. The thing about Youth of the Year is once the kids who participate in it come out of it, they're just completely different people, and it's just a great transformation to watch.
That's great. Now, do they essay? Do they read their essay? Is it public speaking thing? Do they do it in front of the? What's the form for that?
So the event kind of looks like this. They'll go into. We'll be at Diamond Mills. That's always where we hold our Youth of the Year event, and we'll start with a panel of judges. Each kid will go in individually. They already have all their essays and their speeches and their background and their resume, so that the judges are familiar with the candidates. They answer questions, do an interview. Then we come out, have separate dinners. The kids eat together, the judges eat together, the judges deliberate. We go over into the ballroom, and the kids give their speeches to the crowd, which is community supporters and a lot of family members and other club members. From there, the judges pick the winners, and there's actually there's levels to it. The Ulster County Boys and Girls Club Ulster County Youth of the Year will compete against the other Boys and Girls Clubs in New York State on the same type of format.
Yeah, it's
and
really...
there's scholarship levels for each level for that the kids make it to.
Wow, that's neat. Has anyone from Kingston ever, progressed up to the ranks of the levels?
From our club, from my understanding, dating back, furthest we ever got was to make it to the final 3 in the state.
Wow, that's cool.
Which is cool. One of the, there's always the hidden stuff within the events. Like, that is great, and it'd be great if it's to win or something like that. But I've been up there personally myself and watched the event. These kids that are special kids, and they get to spend, a weekend just talking and meeting kids from new places and just, people that are kind of on the same path. It's really cool to watch them bond and just get together and get along instantly.
Yeah, what a great experience,
And even on the local level, just from my perspective, being there and seeing it, everyone, usually there's like, I'm going to say 8 to 10 children that compete for Youth of the Year, and every one of them, in my opinion, is a winner. I mean, just for them to get up there, to speak, to talk about things that are heartbreaking to them and really have impacted their lives. And you see them get up there to go before those judges one-on-one and to speak to them, to have dinner in that environment, and then to speak to a large crowd of almost 100 people. I have to say, every one of those kids that participate are amazing, and they all should be commended for what they do. And we do try to, at the auction, have either the Youth of the Year give their speech, or we will read their speech. And it's extremely moving, and it's very powerful because it's in their own words what their life is about, and many times what the club has done for them throughout the years to ensure their safety and build their confidence and so forth. So it's a wonderful and it's an amazing event, and it's such an important, I think, part of the club, and important part of Boys and Girls Club nationally, because like Dan said, they compete throughout the state and then state to onto national levels and so forth. So it's great. It's wonderful. It's a nice event, and we have a great sponsor, right, Dan?
I'm sorry, Nina?
We have a great sponsor for Youth of the Year, right?
Yeah, typically Liberty Coca-Cola, which is, a local branch of Coca-Cola, is our sponsor. They sponsor so much for us and do a huge support of the club each year.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Coca-Cola Liberty? Wow. Huh. What's the connection? Is someone...
We do have a board member, Mike McNally, who is an employee for Liberty Coca-Cola. He sits on our board.
Yep.
He lives in, has kids that go to Kingston, lives in Hurley. Just a real supportive.
Yeah. No,
yeah, they sponsor it. Which is great. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Those are the things that make all of this possible.
You're just talking about, this going to, regional level, state level things, I remember doing a couple of those type activities as a child myself, and then through the Elks and Kiwanis, our leadership programs for youth. Like when as a kid, you're doing something in Kingston, you seem sort of isolated, but then you go to like a district level, and it's like, right. Whoa, people from, Poughkeepsie, Newburgh, Wappingers, Liberty, Beacon, it's like, whoa, and then you go into the state level, as a kid, it sort of makes you realize that it's a growth experience. You're like, when you're part of something, wow, Boys and Girls Club is regional, statewide. Look, oh my God, there's 500 clubs. Like, they kids may have heard that, but until they go and see, different places,
yes.
the different auditoriums or gyms, whatever. It's an eye-opening experience. It's a wonderful experience that a lot of kids don't get to have, and through an educational or through a oratory contest, it's a fantastic way. It's
greater than the sum of their parts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Greater than the sum of the parts.
Yeah, it's encouraging, and Dan says you see the kids transform through this process. I can definitely see how that would happen. I remember happening to myself. It's
yeah, no,
it's cool.
Great event. So, Dan, can you give a little contact information for people if they're interested in, if they're a business and interested in donating to the auction, or if they want to take an ad, or just reach out and volunteer? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone who wants to be involved with the club at any level, we're always willing to and hoping to have as much involvement as possible. I can be reached by phone at 845-338-8666 or via email at dwhalen, WHALEN, at bgclubsulstercounty.org.
And for those people who just grabbed a pencil, can you repeat that, Dan?
Yep, absolutely. Phone number is 845-338-8666, and email is dwhalen, DWHALEN, at bgclubs ulstercounty.org.
Yes, and even if you're interested in helping out, like the Elks Club did on a Saturday with lunch for the kids, if you have a business or you want to donate for those lunches, just a great way to give back to the community. And you know what, the Boys and Girls Club can use any type of donation, small, large, volunteer work. It's all a positive for the club, right, Dan?
It all adds up. Absolutely. Aziz.
All right. Well, I have to jump off, guys. I'm sorry. A couple minutes early.
That's all right.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Look forward to talking to you guys soon.
That's cool. I hope all is well. Good luck.
All right, Dan. Take care.
Thank you.
I should ask, is he going to be married before he's on the radio again?
So he won't be on next month.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think he'll be off the same week you're off, Cameron.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Well,
yeah.
What are we going to do, Nina?
I don't know, Dan. We'll have to figure it out, right?
Yeah, we'll work it out.
So now that we have like 3 minutes, can I do my little PSA about DMV? Because I know different people listen at different times. So for those of you that did not hear me in the last half hour, our DMV has not been operational since Friday. Of course, Friday we were closed because of a state of emergency here in Ulster County. And then, unfortunately, when we came into the office Monday morning, our computers were down, and we have a closed network with DMV. And by the time we could determine what the problem was, which was a router, and we think from a power surge, the router went. We have to order a new router. They overnighted it to us. We should have it today. We had to have the tech come in and work with our IT to get it set up. So we're hoping we will be back in business noontime today, but we don't know for sure. So if you are planning on coming into the DMV this afternoon, please check our website. Please, you can Google Ulster County Clerk. We'll come right up, or go onto our Facebook page, Nina Postpack, Ulster County Clerk, and it will give you all the up-to-date information in regard to whether we'll be opening today or not. For those of you that have had appointments in the past 48 hours on Friday or Monday or this morning, we will make every effort to get you in and fit you in throughout the rest of this week. You can contact the office at 340-3040, or you can call 340-3700. We will try to make an appointment for you, or we will work you into our schedule. So we hope to be back and operational again this afternoon, but if not, tomorrow morning, definitely. And our motor vehicle bus will be back on the road tomorrow morning, and it did go out yesterday. Today, it is not on the road. So again, please contact us if you want any more information, and we apologize for the inconvenience. Totally out of our control. Piece of equipment goes down, right, Cameron? What can you do? There's,
if they give it the old-fashioned whack on the side?
Oh, we unplugged it. You know that old unplug it and plug it back in and say, oh, come on, you can come up.
Somebody
right?
kicked it, right? Somebody
Talk
kicked
nice
it.
to it. Please work. Come on, man. I
Say
really
a few
need
prayers.
you.
Nah.
Did I tell you how good you look? Have you lost weight? You're talking to it. I got to cheer up the modem.
And with COVID and the supply chain anymore, we were even lucky that we were able to get this model router, FedExed us overnight, because anymore it's so difficult. We've been struggling with toners and printers and so forth, just because of the supply chain and how bad it's been since COVID. So we were lucky that we're able.
More truck drivers out there.
We
Goods.
do.
Longshoremen and truck drivers.
Yes.
Get them goods flowing again.
Yeah, I know. I question a little bit the timing on the federal government with all these added regulations and requirements. Yes, of course, you want your truck drivers to be safe and so forth, but all these added federal regulations, plus it costs the truck driver money because they have to take these courses now and so forth. Just when there's such a shortage of commercial drivers, and I don't know, the timing just wasn't quite right
I'm
for
sure
it all.
this change has been in the pipeline for a couple of years, probably. Just, didn't anticipate COVID, but I think they probably could have delayed its 6-month moratorium or something.
Right, like the enhanced driver's license and the real ID that they've pushed back how many times.
Yeah, they can do whatever the heck they want.
They sure can. So, and I feel bad for people who are going to be a commercial driver, because now they have to actually take training courses.
Yeah.
in addition to everything else that they have to do. So, but that's the rules and that's the regulations.
It makes the road safer.
So,
I mean,
yep.
that is a
important factor.
50-ton destruction rolling down the road. You want some competent people.
It's kind of cool to infuse a certain amount of income into the driver training. That all the truck training that you see.
Yeah. Well, someone's got to pay for it. It's consumer. Starting. Going up the line because trucking's going to cost more. Whatever. So
yes, and we'll be moving our commercial driver's licensing road tests come April, early May to Tech City because all of the renovations will start at the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
So all of our road tests will have to move from the stadium out to Tech City, which is a wonderful spot. I mean, it works very well for us, plenty of space and so forth. But we'll keep people up to date on that. And we're at the top of the hour, so we'll turn it over to you, Dan.
Okay, thank you, Nina, and thank you, Cameron, and very, very special thanks to Dan Whalen, Boys and Girls Club of Ulster County. And you're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston is their main office. By the way, many schools are on a 2-hour delay today. Center for Spectrum Services here in Kingston is on a 2-hour delay. Rondout Central School District, 2-hour delay. Woodstock Day School, 2-hour delay. Saugerties Central School District, 2-hour delay. Onteora, 2-hour delay. And Kingston as well. Kingston is on a 2-hour delay today. Good. Okay, we'll be right back after these messages.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Shirley Stabe from Kingston, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
Thank you for listening to AM 920 and 92.5 FM, the home of Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ. Tuesday, February 8th, 32 degrees right now here in Uptown Kingston. Sunshine and clouds mixed today with a high of 40. And tonight, some clouds this evening giving way to mainly clear skies with a low of 18. Wednesday, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds. It's a high of 48. A high of 45 on Wednesday. Wednesday night, a low of 28 with some cloudy skies in the evening. And Thursday, a high of 48, and Thursday night, a low of 26. Thursday's going to be a little sunny as well. Good. And this upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Robert Baum Commercial Realty. Located at 79 St. James Street, Kingston, New York. Visit rgbaum.com for more information. It's time to go back to the on-air studio with Cameron Rylance, Nina Poshtapak, and our new guest.
And we're back.
We are back.
Tuesday. We are here with our regular monthly guest, Carl Brown. Normally,
I'm very sad, Cameron.
The cows are sad too because their milk isn't making delicious ice cream to give away. So yeah, there's no birthdays to announce, people.
Oh, come on, peeps.
I know. Get your birthdays in. Send them in snail mail. Otherwise, the fine folks at the Boyce Brothers Dairy Milk House can't
don't-
give away cow pie.
Don't
So-
forget, Post Office
And I know
Box
there's February
4364.
is chock-a-block full of birthdays. So
It's true.
I don't know. Someone's remiss. So
Wait a minute. Now, I was just going to say, wait a
Someone's
minute.
missing
Yes,
out on a
yes.
cow pie today.
We'll have to remember
That's
that.
right.
All right.
the 18th.
The 18th.
Carl, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, man?
Not bad, Cam. How's
Hey,
it going?
Good. I
How
want
you
to start
doing, Nina?
off.
I am good, Carl. Good to see you.
Nice to see you guys.
I know you're Harambe. You are the administrator or the president or whatever.
Yep.
The slave burial ground on Pine Street
Yes.
has those huge pine trees behind it.
Yes.
So Friday morning on my
You seeing the damage?
My front porch faces. I look. So if I look down to the left, I can
Okay.
see. There's a huge line of trees above
Okay.
there.
Okay.
I'm used to looking at them, and I'm like, there's a gap. there's not a tree there. Was that the one come down in your?
Yes,
property
one
there?
came down on the wires and stuff in the
All
back.
right,
So
because
gonna,
those pine trees that were bent over, I was like, oh my gosh, they're all gonna go.
and it's funny you say that. And when I first got on as president, I went back and surveyed the area, and I kept saying, man, some of these trees we're gonna have to move. We're gonna have to take down.
Yeah.
It's a progress of love.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way.
Unfortunately, it's expensive.
Yes.
Tree work is expensive. In good times, tree work is expensive.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But we want to try to maintain what's currently there right
Oh yeah.
now. We don't
but
want to
boy, I
totally
was
redo
like,
the
oh,
landscape.
Those trees, because they're massive. There's some of the tallest trees in Kingston. There's like 5 pine trees.
Yeah.
In a row. Several yards. Because the yards are really deep there. Like between Pine and Fair, it's a wide block, and
Oh, yeah, it is. That's
really
true.
long,
Yes.
narrow backyards on Fair and Pine, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of them have old garages and detached garages and stuff back there. So.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But we're proud of it. We're on the track of being on the National Registry right now.
That's
so
awesome.
that's going
That's
to
fantastic.
be a really, really, really
Yeah.
interesting hurdle that we're going to be able to get over. But it would be nice once we get on the National Registry to turn that into a museum. We also have a bringing it to light program where we're teaching kids cooking skills. We're teaching them basket weaving. We're teaching them a lot of stuff about, one, the African culture, and two, how to get along together as kids.
Yeah.
We know when kids play together, healthy, we have a healthy community
Yep.
itself.
Yeah.
But it's nice to learn about the history. I mean, I have a lot to learn. The public has a lot to learn about the history itself, because the slaves here, New York State, was one of the largest slave owner states around, which
right.
we don't think about
Yeah,
sometimes.
they don't teach you that in
Yeah.
elementary school.
There's a lot we don't learn in elementary school.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the thing is that there are slaves that were here in this county right here, has probably a lot of relatives that are here too, and that basically helped build this economy here.
Agriculture,
Yeah.
primarily.
Agriculture, yeah. But an ugly time in history that we would think that somebody would be owned by somebody else, as if, you have a dog at home?
Yeah, it's cheap. The life was not
Yeah.
considered valuable, whatever. You were a commodity, which is...
That's what moved our judge, Sarah McGinty, to do the exhibit on Sojourner Truth, because in Surrogate's Court, right, you have the inventory of the wills, and the inventories had the slaves listed as property. And their worth was based on their age and, their female, male, and so forth. And it was so striking to her when she saw that, and she was so moved by that. That's what began the whole process to put together the whole Sojourner Truth exhibit. So you're absolutely right. Take a look. And you see that inventory, and you see those listings, and boy, it's just impactful. It's very powerful.
It's powerful, but it's it's kind of and I'll say it. It's a disgusting part of our history,
Right.
That we don't want to unveil, or do we want to teach in school? I think if we teach about slavery and about the injustices that slavery caused to people of color like myself, I think we then start teaching our kids to have a more healthy respect for those that went through trials and tribulations that an ordinary person doesn't go through.
And perhaps understand why change is necessary.
Yes.
Because, no one is I can't say no one. Most people aren't intentionally racist, but there's biases inherent in our just the way we were raised, and and it's nothing intentional. It's nothing overt, but it's there. It's micro things, and it's a culmination of things, and the banking system and systems are. They're so racist you can't even realize how like the redlining of real estate.
Oh yeah,
and the interest rates and the road property ownership is the key to generational stability and wealth and forward growth, and how the utility companies wouldn't wire black neighborhoods and stuff, and a phone company would have substandard service, and that was just like built into the systems. And when you're part of that, you don't really realize it until you step back, and that's why. So backpedal a little bit. Yeah. That's why learning is so important. You can't hide it. You have to learn about it.
You have to learn.
That's the only way to make change visible. Like, wow, we're right. You know what I mean? It's hard.
Yes.
To articulate that. But
if a lot of our politicians and especially the federal government, especially when they have money coming down into let's say the county, the city, when they have money that comes into that area and it's built, it's there for economic development. It's been historically present even back when I was a young kid, and probably before that, during affirmative action and everything like that. When those monies came in, they never went to the communities that really needed it. The economic development was always built around that. And I'll just say, I think that comes from our systemic racist thinking, that we've been trained to think that we just aren't worth it.
Yeah,
there's a price on us. There's a cost for us. Sojourner Truth was sold for $100. Now, let me ask you this question. Here's very provoking. If anyone's listening, how much is your life worth to you? Now, just give me a dollar amount.
Invaluable.
It's invaluable.
I can't,
It's invaluable. You won't put a price on your life because you won't be alive anymore if I was to take it away. But to put a price on people's lives, $100 bill, I mean, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
even back in.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah. You can't. That's why it's so important to take history and get it out there so people can see it. And you know what? When you document it, when you look at that document and you see it, it becomes real. We can speak it. You can talk about it in abstract. Yeah. But boy, when you see it on a piece of paper hanging on a wall,
$100.
It is
receipt from a TV. Whatever.
And
crazy.
But the whole concept, I can't understand. I can't put my mind between where did the concept come into owning people? That's evil.
Yeah, I mean, the Egyptians,
right.
Carl, it was war.
It's been forever.
It was war. You'd conquer a nation, and those people were your slaves.
Yeah. The Romans, everybody. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yes. Yeah, and
humans aren't nice.
You go back.
We are a bad species, man.
Mm-hmm. As you brought out, when you're conquering lands, you take over people. I was out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They conquered the lands out there. The Indians that were out there, they cut their legs off so they couldn't go. The tribes that had been just dismantled, their whole heritage gone.
Herded up and reservations and literally death marches and smallpox blankets. It's reprehensible.
It's terrible. So that brings us to a point in our history today. We're at a point where we had discovered the African burial grounds on 197 Pine Street. And if you look at that, 157, if you look at that whole situation, we can all learn from that. Now, this month is Black History Month, so we're going to be having a kickoff. We couldn't do it this Saturday because of the storm. No power.
Dangerous to stand under a tree.
But this coming Saturday will be the kickoff at the YMCA, at there. It'll be at 3 o'clock, 3 to 7. So we invite everyone to come. Please learn as much as you possibly can about the history, even if it's just out of curiosity. Because the more we learn about people, the more we learn either how to respect them, play with them, or converse with them. It's all about the social aspect.
The more you learn about people, the more you realize how the same everyone is.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has the same. You want your kids to be happy, grow old, get grandkids, success. You want your partner to be healthy. You know, you want to have a hot meal. You want to laugh at your relatives' jokes, and everybody, black, white, red, yellow. Everyone is so the same. Yeah. And I kind of never realized that till like 15 years ago at summer camp when I see, an Egyptian, an Israeli, and a Palestinian kid sitting laughing and like, oh my God, you like that band too or whatever? And I was like, holy shoot.
And having a good time.
This is like, Arabs, Palestinians and Israelis hate each other, but these kids are you couldn't tell. It's the same.
Well, that's a good point.
It was like holy shit.
And that is,
I was an adult until I realized that. I was like, oh my gosh, everyone is the same.
You just brought a lot of clarity to what we should be talking about, right?
I think so. It's simple.
It's all about the social aspect. Now, if we learn how to play together, we learn how to stay together, and we learn how not to harm each other, correct?
Right.
So the less we learn about each other, the less respectful that we are to each other. But it's all about what we learn about each other. What have we been learning from our homes when it comes to people of color or people, Israelis or whatever? We're always taught sometimes to look at them differently because they're different. Mm-hmm. The way we view people, man, it's amazing how our mind works.
The language they use, those people, them, us, we, they, divisive.
Right, yes.
Those are, you may not mean it negatively, but it's there. It's right. It's just part. It's so ingrained.
There is something ingrained in us humans when it comes to that. Because, for instance, in London, if you have a slightly different accent, you're discriminated.
Yep.
Yeah. What? Because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
There's nothing else there.
Yeah.
we don't need this. We do
a wild
not need
concept.
It.
Even within, like Asians, the light-skinned Asians, there's dark-skinned. I know in the African American community, there's darker. There's
right.
like within. Subgroups. There's animosity.
There's animosity.
It's crazy that it
is.
The world.
It is.
Humans are bad. Man.
The thing what we're taught all the time, and we see it in life, we see it in our jobs, we see it everywhere. Okay, so and so has a better house than me. Oh, they have a better job. Or this one's the county exec, and that one's this one, and that one. We have titles. We pin titles on different people.
Yeah.
If we didn't do that, we wouldn't see each other differently. You know what I'm saying? Realistically. And that's what these kids see. When you see the Israeli kid and the Afghan kids and them sitting down together, they haven't been taught the bigotry. They haven't been taught the negative stuff.
Well, they're out of their norm, and their norm is against each other. When people are, I guess I'm thinking on the fly. When you act as individuals rather than
as a group.
Yes.
Right.
It's the connection can be made.
Right. But we see it as their norm. The real norm is what you've seen with them young kids playing together because they haven't been taught the prejudice.
The tribalism, whatever.
They haven't been taught the difference.
Yeah.
They like he brought out, they haven't been taught, I don't like that person because of the way his dialect is.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're taught these.
You're not born that way. You're not born with those prejudices. You're taught those, and that's how it starts. And you're absolutely right. One-on-one, I really believe everybody can make a difference. It's one person at a time. It seems like a long journey, but it's the truth. Carl, we stood at a ceremony this past week together, right?
Yes.
And you listened to the people that were speaking, you being one of them, and the message was like, you sat there and you listened. You were so proud to be part of it.
Absolutely.
So proud that you lived in Ulster County. So proud to know that where we were at and what we were doing that night. And I have to say, maybe there's 100 people, but 100 people who heard that same message, and those 100 people will talk to another 100 people.
Absolutely.
And that's how you change what is inbred in society. That's the only way you can change it.
But it's got to start. It's got to start at one point.
It does.
You know, people talk about activism. I tell people, you know what? They think about activism as this huge negative thing, or whatever the case may be.
Carrying a banner, going to a rally.
Carrying a banner, or whatever. No. When you fight against something, and everyone knows me like this, when you get ready to fight against something, you have a cause, you have an end all to get to a certain point, correct? Well,
a plan, or at least a framework to. Was that what you're saying? Like,
yes.
You have an idea. Okay, yeah.
Yes. So really, activism is nothing but movement towards an either social aspect or a political aspect for a common goal in mind, and you have to define what that is. If someone is being mistreated, like the Rodney King situation, and you're talking about activism and people protesting, the goal in mind was to basically get some justice for this person. You see, and that's when you'll start seeing people of different colors and everything start coming together and doing this. When Martin Luther King was an activist way back in the 60s, there was all kind of people, actors, white, black, Hispanic. They all banded together because you know what? The bottom line is when people are being treated unjustly, guess what? Your turn will be next.
Yeah, it's a matter of time.
Somehow, some way,
somewhere.
Your turn will be next.
Well, and everyone has to live in this system. You know, even if you are not on the not being oppressed, you still have to be part of this system, and you're still part of it, and it's distasteful and unjust and wrong. So.
Well, that's what I brought up. If we learn about slavery, if we learn about the ill will effects that slavery has created, even to this day, even though we don't think about it, systemic racism is real.
Oh,
and it
started with American slavery in America. Our racism in our country started 200 years ago.
Yes,
absolutely.
But built in. It's real. And I'll give it, and it affects every culture, even the ones that you're a racist about. And I'll give you an example. There was a black cop that was trained, and he's seen these kids walking down the street, black kids, and they had their pants hanging down, and they were joking around and walking, and he figured he would stop and frisk them. Because it was a stop and frisk. Remember getting tough on drugs?
Yeah.
No, it's getting tough on the black people.
Yeah.
We know what this is all about. Yeah. We know what the code words are. Okay? Yeah. It's harassment. So here's what he did. He pulled over, got wrapped into this, right? Black guy. And he pulls those kids over, didn't find anything, right? He sees the same white kids that are doing the same thing, that are being disruptive and got their pants down, but he doesn't touch them. They're okay. You see, it's the way we look at people. We're thinking of these black kids, trouble. White kids,
there's mischief, yeah.
Like the Long Ranger again, right? Yeah. So, it's the way we look at people. And I can tell you right now, if we start learning about this in school, we start looking at our peers, the young kids, we'll start looking at their peers a little bit differently than what they're hearing at home. See, they're being deprogrammed. But we got to start teaching this in school. Oh, yeah. We really do. When I was a young kid, we never learned about it.
No.
You see pictures of these slaves, the way they came in on these boats.
Like sardines. It was like sardines in a can.
Cargo.
Yeah. And they'd overpack them because we knew a bunch are going to die on the way, so we still got to show up with a full boat. It's crazy.
Horrible.
I mean, how do you get around that? I mean, we can talk about ancient days, during the Egyptian times. We can talk about a lot of stuff, but there was no time in slavery that went on over 400 some odd years than it had done with the American black people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like I said in our speech, black culture is not only black culture, it's African culture, but it's also American culture.
Yes.
They're become intertwined.
Absolutely.
It's part of our history. So my question is, why has it been left out of the history books? Because
Yeah.
it's because
But,
it's ugly.
It's interesting too, and it requires more discussion. Africa is too big of a catchword. There's so many cultures within Africa that were part of different areas of Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa is way different than
It's the homeland.
but hundreds of tribes: Hutu, Bantu, Tutsi, there's so many different. It's just it's too big of a catch-all. Whatever you know what I mean. Like in Georgia, the Gullah, like the Low Country, weaving with grass. Contrasted that to Creole black, and then there's Caribbean black. The slave trade in the Caribbean started 100 years before America was America.
Absolutely.
Sure.
What about Puerto Rico?
Yeah, the Spanish and sugarcane plantations and all that.
Absolutely.
That just made it easier to get it into America, whatever. But just different, I find that very interesting. How it's not just Africa's not just a catch-all. Like the different.
It's different.
Yes.
Analogous to, Germany, Spain, France, Hungary.
Yeah.
In Europe, Africa was the same as distinct cultures. different
Algeria,
foods.
Egypt, South Africa.
West Africa. Seafood.
Yeah.
They have some of the best seafood
Senegal.
in the world. You don't think of seafood.
They're all,
when
they're
you
all
think
such
of,
different cultures. Yeah.
You think of people from Africa. Maasai warriors or whatever. You don't think of like fishermen.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how varied it is, and until you start thinking that way.
And the influences were crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, all over the place. I mean, look at the French and the Italians. I mean, I don't know one African that doesn't know French or Italian. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think about it?
Yeah,
You're
it
like,
is.
how did that happen?
Right.
It happened because of the slave trade and stuff like that. So there's so much, and that area is so rich in not only history, but I think it's very impactful for amount of people that are of color that are in not only just the United States, in the world itself. I mean, we look at race and we say, what was it years ago? They used to call this the one drop rule or whatever. If you had one drop of black in you, you were considered to be black.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So let's go by that rule right now, right?
Everybody's.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's black. We don't have a racist problem, do we? Because I'll tell you right now, when you start looking at it,
It ain't that far back. I mean,
and you start doing the history and you look back, if you can go back in line, they say you go all the way up to Europe. But how did they get to Europe? If you really go back, what was it? In the Bible was the Tower of Babel, where they all got separated and went their own ways and developed their own dialect and languages.
Yeah. Well, basically, every human walked out of Africa a billion years ago or whatever. Right? I mean, so we are all
Absolutely
the same.
We all walked out of Africa.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep.
And you know what's so funny about when you think about that? It's us as human beings. It's our defect when we look at people and we judge people based on the way they look.
Yeah.
They're different from us.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's an innate ability for ourselves as a protection mechanism because we.
Oh, that's all learned. I mean, look at a preschool, pre-K class. Kids, they're playing. They don't know what color is. It's taught.
I would like
Starts at home.
I'd like to refer back to your work, Cam. Your work has to do with learn how to play together, learn how to stay together.
Yeah.
That is stunning work that you're doing, like with all of these people from international locations coming to one place to play.
Yeah.
That's
part of
camp.
it,
Yeah.
That is a stunning model.
Yeah, unity through diversity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is a stunning model.
Yeah.
And it says volumes
Yep.
to what we're talking about right now, right, Carl?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But that that's the key, and that is one of the. It's not a hurdle. it's something that can be accomplished without people realizing it. The more, and I kept saying this all the time, the more things that we have to do here in the community. If I had another pool hall right here in the community, I guarantee you there would be a mixed, diverse people in there shooting pool. But then they get along. They get
Yes,
to know
that's
each
right,
other.
because there's a common interest, shooting pool.
Common
Right.
interest, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You just had Dan Wheeling on for the Boys Club, right?
Yeah.
Guess what happened? A lot of kids came up from downtown that they just played with kids that were black from downtown. When there was a Boys Club, they started coming uptown. They developed a lot of white friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're 100% right. And that's what we need to do. We need to
Foster more of that. Absolutely.
But we need to learn how to do that in every aspect. I kind of touched on this before, and I don't want to go crazy on this, but if we want to cut down on our gun violence, I talked to Michelle Hinchy about this too. We want to cut down on our gun violence. There's a simple solution. Get people some jobs. What you don't have, you're going to go get. Right?
Yeah,
And if it's
and
legal or illegal, you're going to create it. But I guarantee you, a healthy community with jobs, you don't see a lot of this.
People are busy. Too busy. All right.
Yeah.
We're
All right,
getting,
we're
we're getting
busy.
the X here.
Carl, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Thank
And,
you.
we'll
See you next month.
I hope.
Okay,
Yeah, man.
absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Dan.
Thank you, Carl. And thank you, Nina Postapak and Cameron Rylance. Carl Brown, Harambe. Thank you so much for being with us and kicking off Black History Month. And this is Tuesday, February 8th, and 32 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by Robert Baum Commercial Realty, located at 79 St. James Street, Kingston, New York. Visit rgbaum.com for more information. We'll be right back after these messages.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. That means it could be you, your best man, your worst man. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
My name is Hunter Hayes, and I know my buzzed warning signs. When I know I'm going out, I know I'm going to start with calling for a ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is George Post from Ulster Park, New York, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you. Where else can you speak to your local representatives on the air and have your questions answered? So thank you and support KCR.
And you're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. KCR is talk radio, so 331-9255 is your number. 331-9255 is your phone number. And again, there are some closings, not closings, but 2-hour delays all the way through. Center for Spectrum Services, Kingston, is on a 2-hour delay. Rondout Central School District, 2-hour delay. Woodstock Day School, 2-hour delay. Saugerties Central School District, 2-hour delay. Onteora, 2-hour delay as well, and as well as Kingston. Kingston is on a 2-hour delay. Okay, and weather and forecast one more time. Sunshine and clouds mixed today with a high of 40, and some clouds this evening will give way to mainly clear skies overnight. That's a low of 18. Wednesday, again, a nice rise of temperature, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds, with a high of 45. And Wednesday night, partly cloudy skies during the evening, giving way to cloudy skies overnight. That's a low of 28. We have a high of 48 on Thursday with partially sunny, partially cloudy skies, and Thursday night, 26 degrees with generally cloudy skies. No precipitation in the in the upcoming days. So, good. This upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and our community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park, also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Poshpak, Cameron Rylance, and our friend from the Office for the Aging. Welcome back.
All right, we are back.
We are.
And let's get right into it. You guys are talking about good stuff here. Sue Copenhaver, Director of the Office of the Aging. Good morning. We're just talking about your emergency response, if you will, which I guess it was emergency response for our seniors in our community.
An emergency response. The county and us worked together on, I think it really started on Friday when NYSOFA, that's the New York State Office for Aging, called me and asked me what we were doing. And I said, look, we just got off the phone with everybody this week and gave them a call, and they were okay, but that was Wednesday and Thursday, and then the storm happened on Friday. So Saturday, I got a call and in the morning from the county and said, let's call everybody on who's vulnerable, So we decided our ICE list, our in case of emergency list, people were called.
Oh, you said ICE list.
Yeah,
before.
no, ICE list.
Wow.
Blah, blah, blah.
Emergency, yes.
Yeah. So those are folks in the community who either, might have a problem getting out due to physical or mental disability, or have no family to help them and probably have mobility problems. So they were called first.
How many people are on that list?
Only about 20. Okay. It's not a huge
20
amount. Yeah.
20 individuals.
So
you
we
reached
all
out.
took the list, and then we took all of our home delivered meals people, and that's almost 200-something people. So we all split it up between 3 or 4 of us, and we called them all day Saturday, and then when we didn't get a hold of them, we called their contacts. So I left messages all over Ulster County, call me back if you need anything, but most people were okay, and they had food, and I was really calling to find out if you had heat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Food is one thing, but heat is another whole thing, because you're not going to die if you don't eat for one day, but you're going to die if you freeze to death.
Yeah, and then the damage from prolonged heating pipes, breaking, water pipes, not just heating pipes.
It seemed very haphazard who had power and who
incredibly
was,
haphazard.
right?
You could be 2 streets over from somebody and they would have no
I lost,
power.
I lost power for 6 hours, yet 4 blocks away, people were out for 3 days.
Really?
Friday to yesterday.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, it really was.
It was just, it didn't make any sense,
like if wires
my
actually
God.
came down.
There's so much wood on the ground everywhere, and what a mess.
So you reached out to almost 300 seniors over the weekend.
Yeah, we did, and then we got a call again on Sunday asking for those lists so local law enforcement through the county directive could go out and check on people. So they started calling us yesterday. It's like, why did the state police show up on my house at 2:00 in the morning? Because they were
worried about you.
You're okay.
That can be frightening.
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
but
it would
they
be for me.
appreciated it. I think they appreciated the call. Yeah. So, if they wanted to talk about something else, we'd follow up on it yesterday. But there weren't too many people. One guy answered the phone, "Happy Valentine's Day." Oh, you're happy.
Oh, that's good. There you go.
Thank you.
Your happy hour started early. Huh?
Yeah, right. It was fun. It was nice to talk to people and find out how they were doing. And I really like my meals. And Could you tell me about this? I'm like, yes, I'll have someone call you on Monday and just want to make sure you have heat. That's what I'm doing here. So
that's fantastic. That's great because those are the most vulnerable in the community, and those are the individuals that you really worry about, the seniors that are alone.
They can't get out, or they're afraid to go out on the ice, or they don't want to go down the stairs. And one guy didn't have heat, and I said, "Well, we have warming centers. That's why I'm calling you." "Oh no, I'm fine." He goes, "I'm okay. My apartment's this is some apartment, I think. My apartment's okay. I got blankets on, and I'm going to have some cereal now." It's like, okay, that's good.
Yes. And there were warming centers throughout the county, which was great, too.
And there were more added as we went, and then the firehouses started adding, I think we had like 4 warming centers when we started. And then it got to be a much bigger list by the end of Sunday. And I think it's still open. The EOC is still open, and, we're not done. It's not done yet, right? Because when I drove up here from Poughkeepsie this morning, the thruway just the ice all over everything and all of the branches. It's just, it's still there.
I drove to Newburgh Sunday morning, and a couple years ago when they went up and down the thruway cutting all those trees back, I was like, oh my God, they've denuded, they've slashed and burned. What the hell's going on? And now seeing it, like trees,
That's why they do
fell,
it.
They were just on the edge
Just
of the road.
on the
I
edge.
was
That's
like,
why they
boy,
do it.
That denuded, travesty to nature might have been worth it.
You know, but you can imagine if somebody were driving along and a branch fell, I mean, they'd be killed.
Oh, yes.
It happens more than you think.
I bet it does. It was, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's deadly.
In the summer, broad daylight. I remember, like, last summer, somebody died in, like, the Major Deegan down in, like, Bronx or something. Yeah.
I mean, what are the
odds of that?
the odds, right? The
Astronomical.
odds.
But it
and you know what
happens.
else worries me? You have all these roads around here that have these, they're kind of carved through rock, right? And then you look at them, and now there's frozen waterfalls coming down.
Yeah.
And what water does when it freezes and expands,
Breaks rocks.
it breaks all the rocks up. So the rocks will come tumbling down into the road. I mean, there's a lot of other long-term effects from this
There
weather,
is.
too. So anyway, what I
Potholes are
brought
terrible,
today was
terrible.
one of my favorite subjects, if I have time. And I put together a home safety thing for a group I'm presenting to tomorrow on Zoom. But one of the pages is all about winter safety and home safety and being prepared. So if you would indulge me, I
Absolutely.
thought
We
this
will.
would be a good time to talk about this. And these are things you do ahead of time. Most of the stuff you have in your house. But like if you have a phone, make sure it's charged. If you have an extra battery, like one of those battery packs, make sure that's charged. To make it, and we're not only talking about ice, we're talking about hurricanes, big electrical storms, ice storms, blizzards, all these things where you can lose power. Make sure that you have some extra water. You can always take a milk jug, wash it out, fill it with water, a couple drops of bleach, put it away, there's your water. You know, the bleach will keep it fresh-er. And that your car is filled with gas, you have an ice scraper, you have a blanket in your car. What they're saying, where I got this is like, this is what you should put in your car. But I think you should also have these in your house, like blankets, clothing, flashlights, batteries, extra medications, candles and matches, water, I talked about that, for humans and animals. Dried or canned foods with a can opener. So if you don't have a can opener,
Yes.
you can't eat the food.
A manual can.
A manual can opener. A battery-powered radio, road-ready supplies for the cars like salt, shovel, windshield wiper. And then if you have pets, extra non-perishable food or cans for their meds if they're on meds. And if you have children, maybe little games they can play. Because if the electric goes out, they don't have no gaming,
right.
you know? And blankets and books and toys for them if you don't have power, so you can, sort of be ready for all this stuff that happens. I did see that we were on a committee for a long time, we meaning me and many other agencies. I think county was part of it. It was Always There when I worked at Always There. Always There was part of it. Let's see. Ulster County Community Action was part of it. United Way, Ulster Corps, Salvation Army, all these helping, community organizations were part of it. And it was called the Disaster Recovery and Readiness and Recovery Committee. And we had set up a couple of different things that I think that would be great to re-energize in the county. One of them is called a U-Cart. And I noticed that U-Cart was in place at the SUNY Gymnasium, which was I think it was the SUNY Gymnasium. I can't remember, but it was at one of the warming centers. U-Cart stands for Ulster County Animal Rescue Team. So if people have animals, two types of animals they deal with. Household pets, so they have a van full of food and cages in case a lot of people won't leave their houses if there's an emergency because they don't want to leave their pets behind, right? So there's places that will accommodate that, and U-Cart will help. And the other part of U-Cart is dealing with livestock. So if somebody has a farm and something happens, like there's a flood or a blizzard or something, and they don't have any place for the animals to go, I think that originally they had worked it out with the Ulster County Fairgrounds that they could house livestock, right? Hopefully that's not where the problem is at the fairground, right? But they have, they have places for livestock there because that's all they do in the summer. So that was part of it. I thought the most interesting thing about that was the whole communications part of it. I mean, Ulster Corps was dealing with volunteer registration and volunteer vetting, which is something that people do. What happens when you have an emergency and somebody's like, I want to help? Okay, I don't know you from Adam. Nina, I want to help. Nina says, I want to help. Okay, fill this form out or pre-register so we know who you are. And what do you want to do? And what talents do you have? Oh, you're a nurse. Oh, you're an EMT. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Exactly. You can be helped, and kind of that volunteer base and direction can help people kind of put the resources where they belong.
Before a disaster strikes.
That helps to have it before the disaster strikes. Yeah.
And so talking about dusting off that old playbook, that might be.
Well, yeah, I just sent a note to
resurrect
Beth.
some of these things that committee. How long ago was this?
It was years ago, and unfortunately, it was first sort of driven by United Way, and then they gave it over to Ulster County Community Action, and then it dropped. So what I wanted to talk about was the communication part of it that we set up, because what happens if we, God forbid, something happens to our cell phone service in this country or our internet in this country? We are totally screwed. And how do you communicate then? So you go back to Paul Revere, and you get people on horses and you go from town to town and you put up paper, because that's the only way you're going to be able to do it in a place like this. So we actually, or before you do that, because that's like the last ditch effort. But what we had set up in this committee were people who were trained and bought ham radio equipment and became ham radio operators, because that's not dependent on electricity or internet.
Grid, you just need a battery, car battery.
Right.
You can broadcast all over the country.
And you can communicate that way. So those would be like hubs around the county where 6 or 8 people had, so they had like this communication network that went back and forth. Oh, I thought there was...
Years ago, when I first started here, when we were at the old radio station, that came up, this ham radio, whatever. And I reached out to the guy, and I think I dropped the ball. This was years ago. But yeah, I found it intriguing. He was part of like the national...
I remember.
The national response service or whatever.
But it still exists.
Yeah,
and people are still ham radio operators. Yep. I don't exactly know how radios work, but apparently it's a different wavelength.
Yeah, it's just frequent. Yeah, it's radio.
A frequency. Okay, so they're also able to talk.
Very, very far distances.
Yes. So that was the point of this, to have different layers of protection, because how better to screw up this country than to attack our communications grid, right? Yeah. And then the man on a horse. People thought we were kidding, but we weren't. There's a lot of people around this county, certainly in Dutchess where I live. There's horse farms everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
And if you need to communicate, it's Paul Revere and what's her name down in Carmel. Let me think. Sybil Luddington. You know that Sybil Luddington was a 14-year-old girl who did the same thing around the Hudson Valley that Paul Revere did.
Oh, really?
The Redcoats are coming, the British are
Really,
coming.
really?
Yep. There's a statue of her in Carmel or something. Yeah, she got on a horse and she rode around. Spread the word, right? That's how you do it. And that's how people are. And they network. Boop, boop, boop. They talk to their neighbors and the word spreads. So that's another thing that the committee did. And I thought that was really cool. The county did a great job, I think, getting Central Hudson and help all over the place. So, I think that the response to what nobody expected to happen in Ulster County was very quick. And it was just Ulster, and then the other 2 were Columbia and Greene. Those are the 3 counties that were affected. That's why I got calls from the state saying, what are you doing about these people? Because Governor Hochul's watching what you're doing. She was here, and it was a state of emergency and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we lost power. The county building lost power, I think. I'm sure they did, because everybody was out on Ulster Avenue and all up and down. That was bad.
It was terrible.
Behind the county building where I work, there's just branches everywhere. I mean, everywhere in everybody's yard. It was like nobody got spared.
And it was so unexpected.
Yes.
I mean, wintry mix, ice, but not to the
perfect
extent.
storm, right?
Yes, it was. It was. You know, so many times you're prepared for a northeastern or whatever the case may be. But in this scenario, I think everybody really did an amazing job because it wasn't something that was forecasted and it wasn't something we were ready for. And it was amazing how immediately people pulled together
and you
the
got
county
focused
government-
right here.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But anyway, I just wanted to kind of pass along some of those winter readiness things. But it's not just winter; it's
emergency.
It's emergency and loss of power that you need to be prepared for. And water is one of the most important things. I wish people could come to my basement and just fill up their water jugs for all the water that flows into my basement. I have a terrible, like my house is situated on it must be a
spring.
The river runs through it. Anyway, sometimes the water flows and you could just 24 hours a day fill up a jug. Pump it out. Pump it out. Yeah. So it's groundwater though. It tastes weird. I guess it's clean.
I do want to say one thing about what you just mentioned there about being prepared. I just saw recently on the news where people were trapped in their cars for 16 hours on a highway.
Oh, yeah.
And so forth. And that really hit home to me. Like, if I'm in my car for 16 hours, what do I have? I don't have a blanket. I don't have water. I don't have an emergency lighting. There's no heat, right? So, yeah, that's so important. And it made me realize that I'm going to put in the back of my car.
Just put a little thing
Yes,
in. Let me give you a
emergency.
couple of things that I heard from a fireman friend of mine. When you, especially in the wintertime, not so much in the summer, but in the wintertime, if you have a tin can, an aluminum can, or, a food can that you've washed out, and a candle and matches, you can scoop up snow, melt it in the can, and drink it. And the warmth of the candle flame in your car will help keep you from freezing. And the list of threes, it takes 3 minutes to die without oxygen. It takes 3 days to die without water, but it takes 3 weeks to die without food. So if you're in your car, you must have water. That's important, especially in the snow, but you can make your own water. If you have those things and like a Mylar blanket and a candle, those are all in my car.
Yep.
Yes.
This is what you need to survive. I mean, this is survival stuff. I think that thing in Virginia, right?
Yes.
They're never prepared for that kind of weather, and they were all stuck on 95 for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are prepared for this stuff, but it's not that hard to put it together. It really isn't. Again, the can
You hope
opener.
you'll never need it. You hope
never
you'll
need
never want
it.
it.
Yeah, exactly. If you have it, you'll never need it.
Yeah.
That's
When
right.
you don't have it, you'll need it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right, so now I have 4 minutes to talk about the rest of what I'm doing.
Which is like 10 pages
I know, well-
of information.
Well, tax stuff, timely.
Tax stuff is still going on, so we have in this month's buzz, we have a whole page or half a page about the taxes, and they are taking calls. They have a separate line. You can leave a message. Okay, and United Way does it too. So they do it every year too. But you can call our tax line. You can actually call our office and they can give you the number. I don't have it on here. I don't know why that's not on there. But
331-4199.
no, that's United Way's number. That's at the bottom. Our number is 340-3456. But if you call and say, "Oh, I'd like taxes," we'll give you the number. And there's all sorts of places where they're doing it all over the county, at Kingston Library, St. Joseph's in New Paltz, Gardner, Marlborotown, Napanock. There's all sorts of places to schedule an appointment. So that's going on. We have now 2 days of congregate meals now at the hub. We added Mondays, so it's Mondays and Wednesdays. Chess is before Mondays and game day is after Wednesdays, so there's things to do before and after. There's a whole group of people who come and play, what's it called, Mexican Train. It's like a dominoes game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they bring their stuff and, bring their stuff. And there's also...
Cuban guys sitting around?
No, not these guys. So they bring their own little domino set and everything. It's kind of
cool.
nice. And we every other month we're trying to put in not this month, but next month, and there was in January, we're trying to put in articles of local interest, like historian writing or somebody who was born, lived, and died here, who was maybe not famous, but you should know about them. And we're trying to put a picture of the Hudson Valley on each instead of flowers. You know, so if you have a nice picture of some place, we will give you credit and put it on the front of our newsletter. And Medicare is still going on. They're training right now. They're creating new counselors. I'm always looking for volunteers. I especially need a few more people to make warm calls for our warm call program. Those are isolated seniors, just what we did all weekend. Yeah, it was a big, long warm call. And we're looking for shoppers all over the county. People still call us and ask for help with their shopping, pick up their groceries, or simple household chores or leaf blowing or snow removal, things like that the seniors just can't do anymore. So those are the kinds of things we're looking for. I think in the past, a lot of the volunteerism was people who, when you go to the hospital, you see somebody at the front desk, older seniors saying, "Can I help you? Can I direct you?" The hospitals aren't really open to that right now, and a lot of nursing homes are still not accepting visitors unless it's a family. I don't know how they figure it out. But so we're kind of branching off into these other necessary things that people have expressed to us that we need this, we need that. And so that's how we're asking, that's how we're trying to address some of the needs, is the shopping, the food, the driving, the warm calls, and the chores. Those are the things we get calls about. So if you are interested in doing that, you call our office at 340-3456. I will try to match you up with something appropriate that you can do or want to do. We've had a really nice response. We are now up to 20 with our neighbor-to-neighbor program.
That's great.
Yeah, we got 20
Very
drivers.
good.
Some of them are like away for a couple months because they go to Florida or whatever. But we're trying to slowly build that up. We've got more warm callers. Got a couple people that wrote to me out of the blue and said, "I'd really like to do chores for people. I built my own house. I can do this. I can do that." I'm like,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a
very
great,
intriguing.
yeah.
I think Cameron Ryland should sign
I
up.
do
Yeah,
too. He was going to work on that bus for you, right?
Oh, yeah, so I did get the okay. Yep.
Yeah, she's like, do whatever the heck you want.
Yep, go
Yeah,
for
when
it.
it gets warmed up. I mean, it's
Yeah, that's fine.
cold right now.
But they are interested in the booth, and they're going to create their own mobile hearing van, which I think is a great idea. And I said, when you do that, come to the hub.
There you go.
And we'll have a hearing day. We'll have a hearing assessment day or whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that one
Now,
is the
who's
first.
doing that?
Byron Hearing
Oh,
said
okay.
they would take the booth. It's not that big, but I'm sure it's very heavy.
Yeah, it's a
It's a soundproof booth
Oh, that's great.
in the van. So
Yeah.
Cameron went inside and saw what was going on.
It'll fit out.
A lot of big bolts in
it's
there, and
placed pretty well.
yep, to figure out how to get it out of there. But I'm trying to create a space in the van that people can meet in. And right now, that big space that he saw, there's a space in the back with a door, and then there's this big long space in the rest of the van. It's not a passenger bus. It's just it's an exam bus. Is a big long like counter with a sink. I don't need that.
Right.
So there is water in there. I don't know where the water's. I'm going to guess it's in like a container.
Tank in
Yeah.
underneath, yeah.
So I don't need that really. Maybe I need a sink, but I don't need the huge long 10-foot counter, and I don't need the audio booth. So that would create more space in there, and we could set up like a table somehow and bring it along with us, get a couple chairs, and then when we go out to places, and our first one is scheduled on March 30th at Pine Hill Community Center, way out there, we'll bring our legal and our high cap. Oh, okay, 1 minute.
That's great. That's wonderful. It's a mobile unit like that is indispensable.
Yep, you
it's
should
a
know. You
huge
guys do it all the
convenience for
time.
people.
Yes. Get out reaching people.
Yeah, it really is. You're going to the people. And
Yeah, going to the people.
Yeah.
Yep, to the people. Yeah.
all right, so we have to
Close our services
So-
out for today.
Yes.
So thank you. Good luck. I mean, the winter's not over, so hopefully we
not.
won't have any more emergencies.
I
but-
hope not.
Don't forget don't forget my winter safety
Yes.
tips.
That's
I'm
right.
happy to share those with anybody who would like them.
Be prepared.
Be
Yes.
prepared. You will be much better off if you are prepared.
Sue, thank you so much.
Sue,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
All right, listeners.
Have a wonderful, terrific Tuesday.
Terrific.
And we'll be back in a week.
Tuesday.
So,
Yes.
Dan, why don't you take us away?
Stay safe, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, stay safe, everyone. Thank you, Sue Copenhagen, from Office for the Aging, from Storm Response, and everything like that. And thank you, Nina Postjapak, and thank you, Cameron Rylance, for bringing us around to 9 o'clock. Thank you for sharing the morning with us and participating in Kingston Community Radio, KCR AM 920 and 92.5 FM WGHQ, and our live streaming on mykcr.org. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Rondout Savings Bank. When you choose to bank Rondout, you're part of a bank that is dedicated to the future of your success and the success of your community. Rondout Savings welcomes you to open an account today and discover what it means to be part of a powerful community bank, one that knows you by name. Branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park, also online at rondoutbank.com, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And again, 2-hour delays for most of our local schools. Center for Spectrum Services, Rondout School District, Woodstock Day School, Saugerties Central School District, Onteora, and Kingston. And we thank you for being with us today, and we invite you to be with us tomorrow at 7 a.m. For a Super Wednesday. And we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities. We now return you to Magic 92.5.